Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight and we are bringing you yet again another video. Now in today's video we are talking about the new Nazarik units that are coming out, I think tomorrow or Wednesday, next day. I don't know what the day is exactly off the top of my head, but basically we're getting 2 new units. So as I said in my predictions video, I did say that Momon and Clementine would come before or after this event. And I did say that Demiurge the frog's going to appear. However, Pandora is a bit of a mystery. I don't know where he came from. Now, let's keep this short and snappy, right? So basically on the screen here we have got the updated global tier list. Again, this goes from left to right for those of you that don't know, or for those of you that have never seen one of these videos before. Now, you're probably looking at it and saying, well, there's a few units on there that haven't been spoken about before. And that is the swimsuit units, and that is because the swimsuit units are coming after these Nazarik units. It hasn't been announced properly, but they've set a date for when these units are going to come out, which mate, what is the date? I think it's like the 5th or 3rd of this month, which means give it like 3 or 4 more days, we'll get like a notification in game with like the image on it. But we decided to add the swimsuit units on as well whilst we were doing a tier list, basically. Now, the first one that you're going to notice is Pandora. And Pandora is in the middle of B tier. And to be quite frank, is one thing I'm going to state during the explanation, for Pandora. Now, we'll just get straight into it. Now, overall, he's a pretty bad unit. I know, and I'm going to come into that now. So as a Nazarik unit, he is probably the worst Nazarik unit to exist at the moment. He's got a good typing, enhancer, pretty good, pretty well balanced stats for an enhancer. Obviously damage is not much of an issue. He's got pretty high HP, pretty high defense, and pretty good speed, to be honest. He's got pretty good resistances as well. Now, his first skill is 116 shining type magic damage with a 16% elemental rate for 4 MP. So already off to a bad start with the kit. Now, these types of skills, you expect to see that for 3 MP because usually this is only worth 3 MP, even 2. 4 MP for this is absolutely shocking. Now, the elemental rate is not even 32%, which most skills like this do have. Like Mare, for example, 32% earth rate, and that is 3 MP, and it's like 124% damage. So low damage, low elemental rate, shining type magic is really good. We don't have a 5-star that has that yet, besides this guy. So besides from the fact it's shining, really bad. 3 MP, 8 defense to all enemies down. Again, it's so expensive. That should be 2 MP right there. It's too expensive, that skill, for what it does. And to be honest with you, it's not even that good. Maybe 15% defense down would be pretty okay. But 8% defense down is really bad for this unit in general, to be honest with you. Now, the last skill is 7 MP. It is 62% physical damage to all enemies with a 54% chance to inflict paralysis. Now, this skill is good and bad. Now, it is bad because it costs so much, and it is good because in Chaos Field right now, this is what I wanted to mention at the start. A lot of people were asking me to move this Albedo from where it was here, like bottom of B to maybe bottom of A, or top of B, sorry, to bottom of A. And that was because on the Chaos Field event, for those of you who haven't got that far, the strategy that most people are using right now is using Albedo to sleep the enemies if possible with a aim relic. For those of you that don't know, an aim relic will increase your chance to land status effect. However, now that costs 6 MP, right? Now you have Pandora. You didn't see that. Now we have Pandora, which is you're going to deal damage to the enemy as well as have a chance to paralyze them, which basically means is better than Albedo. Now, for Chaos Field and these sorts of events, this unit is better than Albedo if you're going to go for that strategy, right? This is going to replace that Albedo now. Now, you guys are probably wondering, well, why isn't he bottom of A tier then? And I agree with you, but when I do tomorrow's video, which I'm going to film straight after this Entema when you see her skills and everything, you'll understand why these two units are now staying in the bottom mid-tier B. Otherwise, if Entomar wasn't there, I probably would have put Pandora near bottom of A tier, and Albedo would be sitting a little bit higher up on B tier. But for the time being, this Entomar, we'll speak about that in tomorrow's video, unless you want to go and have a sneak peek on offline users' site. Speed increase, magical damage reduced, that is pretty good, and physical damage to all enemies, meh, that's pretty bad, no elemental or anything. Passives are okay, so overall this unit is pretty bad, right? He's just expensive, really expensive, and this Entomar, for what we're using this, what's it called, Pandora for, Entomar just does it all better, and many units are going to come out in the game that are going to do this much better. Excuse me. Pandora, middle of B tier. Demiurge. Now here we go. Now this is a fun one. God. Right, stats. Very good. Speed. Attack is pretty good. One of the highest in the game at the moment, which is good. But over time, that's going to get lower and lower. Defense, pretty decent. HP, okay. Stats are pretty good, right? Typing is green. Meh. Disadvantages or damage taken elements, really good. That's 75% decrease, 50% increase, so 25% decrease. Again, now this going back to Pandora's actor, right? So 4 MP, 116, 30, 16%. 4 MP, 32, 120%. Now 32 is what we want. 4 MP is not what we want. Flame damage to 120%, that's really good. If this was 3 MP, it'd be a good skill. If it was 2 MP, it'd be really good, but it's not. It's 4. Too expensive. This one, 2 MP, 75% magical skill damage increase. Now, this is magical skill. This is not magical damage overall. Now, I'm going to explain to you why this sounds really good, right, for 2 MP. I'm going to explain to you why this is not really good for this unit. Now, you're going to use this skill when you start the game, right, if you're ever going to use it. And then you're going to have 3 turns to deal 75% increased damage. You can use this skill 2 times in that timeline, right? You can't use it on the 3rd turn that you have this available. You won't be able to use the skill. So you're wasting 1 turn of this because this costs 4 MP. So the skill is bad for this guy for his kit. There you go. Quick maths. That's the sort of things we look into when making this tier list, by the way, guys. Just thought I'd let you know. 7 MP, 72% magic damage to all enemies. Shocking. Not even like a fire damage or, you know, debuff. It's bad. It's really bad. What's her name? Mare does better. 7 AoE attack skill. So, yeah, this is really bad, man. It's just too costly, and it doesn't even do that much. You don't even get 12% overdrive increase for that much MP. You're getting 6. 5% magical attack. That's really good. 6% magical skill. That's really good. Single target, 140% ice damage. Now, this unit is pretty much the same as Masked Irons. If you ever compare the two of them together, you'll know exactly what we mean. There's a few changes, but that's obviously because he's DPS unit, and he sits towards the bottom half of A tier. And to be quite honest with you, moving on to the next part of the video, which is where they're going to sit in the future. Pandora is going to drop like down in the B tier. Probably, if not, he'll sit roughly where he is now. He won't really move. If anything, he'll move down a few places. He'll never move down to C tier. Not at the moment, at least. Like on JP, he won't. But he will always be B tier, and he will never get anywhere near top of B tier. He will always sit below the bottom half of the B tier, right? Demiurge. Now, this one's a bit of a 50-50 one. Now, a lot of people view this guy a lot differently. I myself, so for those of you that don't know, the JP tier list is made of a few different people. I do send my tier list into them, and then if they, you know, want to move anything based on what I have on my personal one, then they can. It's up to them. But on the JP tier list, Demiurge sits in A tier. On my personal JP tier list, I've got him in B tier. So to be honest with you, this unit will probably move down to bottom of A tier, if not B tier. Depends on, you know, how me and the other guy that does the global tier list kind of, you know, evaluate things. But yeah, the other guy's got a very strong, and he's even admitted it, he's got a very strong bond with this Demiurge, so he wants him to sit a bit higher as he can. But yeah, we're trying not to let anything like that get involved in making a tier list, so we'll have to see where it goes. Now, the swimsuit units, I'll do a video on them guys tomorrow for you ones, so that you guys can kind of get an update on that, because we're not really getting too much. Well, we have had a notice on what we're getting this whole month, which is really good, but I'm not going to cover it until the announcement comes up in the game, besides from the swimsuit one. Now, this is pretty much the tier list for the time being. There will be more units obviously added. Overall, this banner, you got a rate up on those two units, Demiurge and Pandora. You also have a rate up on Nazarik, Aura and Mare off the top of my head. So again, if you do not have Nazarik Aura, I would summon. But if you have Nazarik Aura, I would skip this banner. And to be fair, even if you don't have Nazarik Aura, I would still skip this banner, because eventually they'll add another Nazarik Festival banner. And in there, they'll have rate up again for Aura. And hopefully with those units, you have a higher chance to get better units, if that makes sense. Because let's say the next Nazarik banner is Albedo, right? Or Shoutir, Vampire Shoutir. What you could do is summon on that banner and have a chance to get one of those two units, which are much better than Demiurge and Pandora, as well as having a chance of getting Aura. Do you see what I mean? So you're getting a 2-in-1 special rather than summoning for these units. Because to be honest with you, Demiurge is pretty decent pull, but I wouldn't be excited if you get him, personally. I would save your gems for the swimsuit banner, because as you can see, we've got Solution, we've got Entema, Shizu, Nabe, was free, like was given out by login on JP, so we don't know if that's going to be the case on this, but if not, you've also got Nabe in the pool. You've also got Lup, which is pretty decent. Yuri's the only bad one, right? Lup is okay. If you don't have Mare, then she's good, but otherwise if you have Mare, then no, ignore this unit. But yeah, you got three really good units, well, 2 really good units, 1 decent and 1 other decent. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry about the delay in uploads, like 4-day skip, but that's because there was no content to upload. Obviously we're coming to the end of the month now, which means there's probably going to be a bunch of new events that are going to come out, and yeah, we'll kind of get into a bit more detail from that. So you guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care and peace out.